Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the winners portion of our bracket. At this point, we've eliminated 4 decks, most of which I think are pretty good decks, honestly. Glimpse of Tomorrow, Mono White Monument, Thopter Sword, and Mono Red Blitz are all knocked out of this first bracket. They'll probably come back in future brackets, but they're not winning this one. And now we're on to the 4 winning decks. Ensoul, Cascade, Rhinos, Cephalid Breakfast, and Blue White Control. So one of those is going to be the winner of our first tournament bracket. Today we've got Ensoul Artifact versus Cascade Rhinos. These are both really aggressive decks that are both capable of really strong draws, putting a lot of power and toughness onto the board on turn 2 or turn 3. So I really don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to jump into the games, and we'll figure out which one of these decks is going to be in the finals, facing off against Controller Combo. 2 pretty different matchups, but thanks for tuning in. We'll see how it goes, okay? And oh, by the way, we're not including deck techs in this since they were in the previous videos. So I'll try to link those so that you guys can find them if you haven't caught those. Alrighty. All right, our first, I guess, what do you call it, the second round of the bracket game?
The semifinals.
Yeah, it really is. It's exciting. Some Rhinos versus Blue White and Soul action.
This is a matchup that I've been really excited to see because I think both decks have some really good tools to deal with the other, but they also are, I would honestly say, 2 of the most efficient decks at getting power into play.
Yeah, both of them are potentially putting like 5 or 10 power into play on turn 2 or 3. And the thing is, the way they present the power is kind of difficult to deal with, right? Like in Rhinos, it's spread over 3 bodies often. Yep. In Soul, it's like an indestructible something.
Yeah, you can stick it on one of the indestructible lands. There's Patchwork Automaton that has Ward. Stone Coil Serpent has protection from multicolored, which is very relevant in some weird ways.
Kind of a big deal, yeah. And remind me, what's the big news with Blue, White, and Soul right now, post-Brothers War?
So Springleaf Drums got reprinted, and so they are no longer $2 a piece. So looking at the deck, I made some changes. Well, we haven't actually changed these lists. We're going to finish out the tournament with the ones that we started with. But it's looking like I have probably $4 or $5 worth of room just based off of what the list currently looks like, and I just really don't know what I want to put in there.
I mean, that's insane, though. Like, getting extra budget out of nowhere is awesome.
Yeah.
I think you said that Thopter Sword also went down because of the Sword of Thopter and the Sword, maybe?
The Sword of the Meek reprint is, because those were $2 as well, so that one's fairly easy to replace because you just put Emery's in and it's fine.
Yeah. So that's really exciting, man. Cool to get new budget for artifact decks. Brothers War, I think, has been actually really good for a format. This is something that maybe we'll look into, but have you seen the talk around that new enchantment that makes persist combos viable?
I haven't yet. No, I haven't. I've mostly paid attention to cards that will affect current decks that I've played, so it's mostly the artifacts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I will keep, by the way.
Yeah, I'll keep. We'll talk about Thran Vigil later, but I'll keep. You're on the play?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Forest Incubation, top 5, get a creature. Oh. Kind of nice that I get to get a Sky Turtle off that.
That is really one of the main ways that you can kind of counter my deck, is if I stick something on a creature that doesn't have protection, it's...
Go ahead. Yeah, I feel like that's what we're going to need, right? I have to be able to reset you and buy a little time, because I think you are like a hair faster.
Patchwork.
Uh-huh.
Ornithopter.
Ward does counter abilities, right? So it does beat Channel?
Target spell or ability, yep.
Okay, that's good to know.
Go ahead.
Huh. I actually played my first turn wrong.
Wrong land or something?
Yeah, it could have been better. I should have thought more about that.
Did you want to just rewind it and...
No, I think it's okay. It's not like a big thing. It's just now I have to think a little bit more.
Okay.
So if you do have an Ensoul, it's probably going to be on the Patchwork, actually, because of this ward we're discussing.
Most likely.
Island.
move to your upkeep. I think I'm gonna ice something.
Okay.
Right, because I just don't want to get I don't want to get hit for a bunch here. Icing a land. Let's go. Let's just go island iced. I'll draw. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'll attack 6.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
You can't say I didn't try though. I tried my little heart out. Shivan Reef.
Mm-hmm.
I do get to shardless here.
That's pretty good.
It is, isn't it? Footfalls.
Okay.
Cast Footfalls, make 4/4s.
Yep.
And for the viewers, we still somehow don't have Rhino tokens, so these beasts have trampled. Don't you forget it. Go ahead.
Draw. Interesting. I will go to combat.
Yeah,
I will swing for 6.
It's not indestructible.
It is not.
So, are you telling me you're just okay with trading with a Rhino? Because eventually you can Luris it back, but it's going to be a while. No Aether Spell Bombs in play. I'm trying to think what I'm playing around. Alright, it might be a mistake. I'll double block.
Okay, I'll kill one of them.
Yep, that's fine by me.
Put Luris into hand.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Draw for the turn. Mountain.
Mm-hmm. I think I did misplay that turn, but it's fine.
Combat. Yeah, we can circle back to it. I'm getting for 6. We love to attack for 6 damage on this channel. I have another Shardless.
That is not what I wanted to see.
Footfalls. Second card down every time. I'll make 2 fresh new fellas.
Yep.
Go ahead. Oh, you know what? It's better.
Let's see here. This is not a great spot. I'll double glass casket.
Oh, 2 Rhinos?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead. Yeah, I think I should have forced you to bounce my patchwork. Is
That's
kind of where I should have done.
yeah, especially because it was going to be like ticking up in size eventually. So it was gonna, and it kind of ruined my attacks for a while, and eventually it would be like 2 Rhinos big.
Yeah, so I was basically hedging on not having a second shardless.
Okay.
Or Bloodbraid not hitting correctly.
That makes sense. Yeah, to give you a little bit more breathing room.
Yep.
I gotcha. I'm gonna go combat.
Yep.
8.
Okay.
I will. It's so gross. Bounce Shardless using Sky Turtle.
Sure.
Take a pain to make blue.
Mm-hmm.
All Shardless.
Yep.
Too bad there's no Lelia here. Make 2 more guys. Go ahead.
Alright, let's go. Luris.
Yeah, you have a Luris.
Let's Ensoul a casket.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
Rhinos do have trample. Combat.
Mhm.
I will Is it better for the shardless? It's better for the shardless to go, right? I'll just send for 12, 14, 16.
Alright, so... Doesn't really matter which of those I block. So, I mean... Just go there. Go there and I die anyway, so...
Oh, yep. Even with lifelink?
Yeah, so I mean, I block here, 8, 5... Oh, wait, no, so I do live at 1.
So, you would take 8, or you got 9 right now?
I'm at 6.
Oh, you're at 6. So, yeah, you'd go to 1. I've got tricks for you, though.
Okay.
I actually have a lot. This is cool. I didn't think about this, but not to still have all these I just think this is interesting. So, I have 1 Sky Turtle, so I can, like, bounce
that and get the trample.
Well, I also have, and this is interesting, I have an incongruity. So, I can actually exile your creature and make it a 3/3. It's not destroy.
Well, this also isn't in this.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But I guess it would get an Ensoul land. Which is interesting. We talk sometimes about how incongruity is interesting because being able to turn any of your opponent's creatures into a 3/3 is kind of neat because my Rhinos are 4/4s.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about the fact that it lets you push through additional damage, right? They declare a blocker on your trample creature and then you remove it.
Yep.
And, so...
Yeah, so I think I did probably throw that game there because I think... So my turn would have, instead of been putting the Lurrus into hand, it would have been Glass Casket one of the Rhinos and then sit back with the Patchwork.
And then I'm forced to like dump 4 mana into having you pick it up.
Yep.
I agree, because, yeah, the way it shook out, especially with me having the second Shardless, I was just able to apply a ton of pressure, and spending the 3 mana on Lurrus, yeah, definitely tough. The good news is, I don't have sideboard for you. Because right now we're on the 4 Ravenous Trap and the 3 Pyrokinesis. I mean, like, I could bring in Pyrokinesis with the justification that sometimes I get to kind of counter an Ensoul.
Mm-hmm.
I could trim Lelias for Pyrokinesis. Is that interesting to me? But I have Bone Crushers for that, you know what I mean?
Want these is the question. And if I do, what am I cutting? I think I'm okay not putting them in.
Yeah, I forget what your sideboard is. I guess I do this open deck list, so good luck. But
yeah, we could just actually just talk about sideboarding while we're doing it as well.
Yeah, I brought in 1 Pyrokinesis for 1 Lelia.
I brought in 4 Metallic Rebukes.
I think that makes sense.
Good. So I thought about bringing in Dispatches. I thought about bringing in the 1 Lens Flare that I have. But I think single target is just worse than counterspells, and I don't have cards that I want to take out in this matchup.
And that's the thing. I think you identified it correctly. Going 1-for-1 against Rhinos seems like a losing proposition.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. As of now, I took out 2 Ingenious Smiths because they grow slowly, even if they do find artifacts, which is very nice.
That makes sense.
And then the 2 Blackstaff of Waterdeeps because they only make 4/4s.
Oh, and which not a great deal.
Unless I'm putting it on an indestructible creature, it's just going to trade with a single Rhino that was free. So
yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah. Here we go into game 2.
Yep. All right, and I will be on the play for game 2.
All right. Good luck, man.
You too.
Yeah, the 2 Shardless opening hand, and then the ability to rebuy them with the turtle is so gross.
Very nice, yeah. Interesting.
Huh.
This is a little bit of a weird one. I'll keep, though.
I'm going to mull it. We'll talk about it. It's really interesting. It's 3 Painlands, 2 Mountains, Bloodbraid, and Congruity.
Mm.
And I just feel like the fact that these are double red, like I'm going to be taking a lot of pain off of these. And I'm just not really doing anything. Like I'm really counting on it. So I think
that is probably pretty slow.
Yeah, I think that's a good go to 6. So.
Especially if you don't hit exactly a Shardless on that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that'd be bad. I wouldn't be doing anything until turn 4. All right.
Yeah, my hand is a little bit clunky, but it kind of just gets there eventually, so I think it might be good enough.
Okay. I like that. I think going to 5 is maybe actually okay.
Interesting.
So is this better than a 5 card hand? It's really not. Well, we can talk. Footballs is going to go back. Red, green. So again, it's kind of not doing anything. I also can't like rip a shardless and be off to the races. Like,
yeah, you can't cycle the hieroglyphic.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yep.
And I do think that this deck mulls pretty well.
Yes,
Because it doesn't need a lot of cards. You don't need a lot of cards to shardless on turn.
but yeah, a shardless even on turn 3 is pretty good enough when you're not playing against a combo deck.
Right, like God, can you just go to 3 or 4 looking for shardless on turn?
Oh, for sure.
So I'm going to 5. So the problem I have is that I keep getting hands. This is actually really comical.
I think we keep seeing something like this with that deck where you just sometimes don't have the correct colors.
Yeah, the mana's kind of bad.
Did you cut the Teamer like tapped lands in that deck?
Chris did, yeah.
Chris did, okay.
And I know that I think Will's version does run the Teamer tap.
I think so too, yeah.
But so I'm going to 4 Gs. It's okay though.
Yeah.
It's like the tap land is consistency, but you're trading explosiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just want to be explosive and do this in the deck.
Probably,
but,
yes.
I don't know, your turn 1 and 2 is not that important. You can probably slip a tap land in, so.
Yeah.
Alright, 4. Wow, 4 is not many. 1, 2. I think that makes sense. That's really hard. Right now the question I'm trying to figure out is 2 or 3 lands. I'm on the draw.
You are on the draw.
All right. I'm just gonna draw a land at some point.
I believe in you.
All right. This is actually fine. Like no joke. This hand is fine.
Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go with the Ginger Brute and hit for 1.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I think Gender Breach is just great. By the
It's a
way.
really cool card. The fact that it just dodges, good to know.
I like that.
I'll try to not play around.
Little data on the house.
Let's go with the Patchwork.
Okay.
Attack for 1.
Yep.
Go ahead. But yeah, as I was saying, the fact that Gingerbread gets around pretty much every blocker is really nice.
It's crazy, man. I think I said it as a joke in a deck tag at some point, but it basically says unblockable at some point. The card is just very good. I'm kind of unassuming.
Springleaf Drum trigger.
Do I respond to Springleaf Drum on the stack?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I actually do. I'm going to take a pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stomp here.
Yep.
Because my thinking there is if you do have an Ensoul and you want to Ensoul this, you need the blue off of Gingerbread.
Stonecoil for 1.
Yeah, that's fine.
Trigger again.
Yep.
Let's put an Ensoul.
Oh, I guess you. Okay. Jeez. Okay, that's fine.
Attack for 7.
Go to 10.
Go ahead.
That's a big mana jamma. Reclusen Forest. I'll take a pain and I'll cast my guy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Draw. Interesting. Might as well. Machikos.
Yeah.
Target there.
What's the number?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh no.
8 and 7.
Jeez. I think you have it, but I'll block here, taking 7.
Okay. Go
2.
ahead.
I mean, I don't even know if making Rhinos here would make me kind of live, I think. But, right, because I had Shardless here, double block here.
2, 4, 6, 7. So this was 8, sorry. So this would be 1.
Oh, I am at... Oh, okay. Well, that matters. That's funny. Yeah, so I was trying to play towards a Sky Turtle to bounce that, but it's 4.
Mm.
And I actually did just rip the Shardless, but the pain would kill me. It'd be... Yeah, it would just be 1 point, so...
I did also have an extra buff in hand already, so I could have just trampled over.
Holy cow. I'm kind of glad that I took some moles that game.
That was where you used your bad luck?
Yeah, right. Like, if that's what's going to happen, if that's where I'm on the negative end of variance... I think it's funny because both of these decks are kind of high roller decks, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be a degen gambler. Or, well, you don't have to be, but if you are a degenerate gambler, they're fun decks because the ceiling on them is so high, you know?
Yes. Yeah, they really can be.
Like, I think I've definitely been hit by you for 5 damage on your turn 2 before.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And again, Rhinos, it can make 20 power on turn 3. I'm thankful I get to be on the play here.
Let's see here. Making some changes. I guess I can talk about them. I am going to bring in 2 blacksmith skills and then bring the 2 black staffs back in.
Interesting.
For 2 ginger brutes, 2 ghost fire blades.
Oh, that's cool.
I think the ginger brutes being able to be targeted means they're really just going to be 1 damage, and I'm never really going to go all in on them, I don't think.
Yeah, you want to go on something with protection. Oh, that makes sense.
And then the whatchamacallits? What are they called? Ghost Fire Blades are repeatable and nice, but also I think I may need to just block with creatures on the draw.
Right, like your cards need to all stand on their own, right? There's like less chance of being able to combine them.
Yep. And Ghost Fire Blade just really does not let me... It doesn't get me to 4 or 5 even.
That makes sense. Have you ever thought about Smuggler's Copter in the deck?
I've really thought about it. I think it's just a little bit too slow because I already am really hard pressed to not start trimming the stone or the Ingenious Myths and the Patchworks because they're just...
You have a lot on 2, yeah.
I would usually rather cast a Machiko's or an Ensoul on 2 than either of those.
That makes sense.
And so overloading on the 2-drop spot is kind of something I'm trying to avoid, but because I already have so many of them.
I agree. That makes sense. Yeah, I think your logic with the 2-drops makes sense. I think Smuggler's Copter will be pretty good in the Tempered Steel list that Chris was talking about. Yep. Once he gets that, we'll have to have him come play a few games. I'm curious.
Interesting.
I'm going to try this.
Crap. On the draw? This hand is really good against 1 angle of your deck, and it is really bad against the 2nd angle of your deck.
Does that mean there's a glass casket for Aurelia?
I feel like I should be trying to limit the unforced errors in this gameplay as on the draw. But so my hand is these and then these. So it's really good against the Rhinos plan. It is really bad against the Lelia plan. Because I can just play out all of these on turn 1 and then untap and just never let you resolve a Rhinos.
Doesn't that counter Lelia as well?
It does, but it also... Oh, I guess it does, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that's a negate.
Yeah, I think the 1 land was probably the problem, though. If there was a second land, then yes, but...
Yeah, because the thing is, I agree that that's a mull, because you didn't have a lot of, like...
It also
you didn't have more going on after the counter spells, I guess.
Yeah.
So you would catch a Shardless Cascade, and then you would like catch the second thing. But while that's happening, you wouldn't be doing very much, and then I get to Bloodbraid Elf time.
Yep.
And Bloodbraid Elf is like somehow scarier than Shardless.
Because
Because it really is a threat. Like, Bloodbraid is much more of a threat on its own than Shardless is.
It also didn't actually stop a turn 2 on the play, Simian Spirit Guide.
Oh.
Play. For you, at least.
You're right, yeah, because I would play my land, you would dump your hand, then I would do that.
So. Then you would untap. So if any of your plays were turn 2, then I'd probably just lose to it automatically.
That makes sense, and that kind of goes back to the no tap land, right? Because if I was on a tap land version that was a little bit less turbo, maybe that hand becomes more acceptable. So maybe the deck construction that led to the mulligans. Oh, yikes. maybe the deck construction that led to all the mulligans in game 2 kind of also like forced you to mull that first hand.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Going to 5. I can still...
You can throw something together, and you always have Luris, so...
I am on the draw, so...
Yeah. Too bad that we're seeing 2 multi-5s. But...
Yeah, it happens. That's just... That's why you play the matches.
Yeah, and I know we've discussed before, like, whether we just, like, mulligan to 6 and don't say anything. And it's really hard to say, like, do we want to make gameplay that's, like, true or gameplay that's, like, consistently games, you know? And I think that erring on the side of, like, real gameplay is probably good.
I think I kind of just have to.
Right, it's really hard to go lower.
All right, ready.
All right, man. Good luck after that. Bad luck.
Thank you.
Reef, go ahead.
Ginger root?
Yeah, take it.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to take a pain, and I'm going to cycle a hieroglyphic.
Yep.
Interesting. Draw. Blue. Green. Singing Spirit Guide.
Yeah.
You were smart to not lose to this with Metallic Rebukes in your hand, right? Oh no, Metallic Rebukes! Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so my hand was Ginger Brute, Metallic Rebuke, and Lands.
I mean, like when you're at that point, when you're going that deep, right?
Going down to 4, I don't think
No, like how many...
would be any better.
Right, how many hands are going to be possible? And what's going on here? Yeah, I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right?
Yeah.
I think you made the right decisions. It just comes back to we're slamming 2 high roller decks against each other.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll pass. I wonder what I'm telegraphing.
Combat?
Yeah.
Actually, not combat. I lied to you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not pain. Sand Spirit Guide. Bloodbraid Elf.
Cascade can resolve.
Old Cascade. Shardless.
Cascade can resolve.
Dude, this hand's cracked.
You can just put it in the graveyard.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to crash for 8. 5 is 13. That's crazy. Go ahead.
You got it. Well,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was worried about with that deck.
Yeah, I mean, really not a lot to say. I mean, this deck is fast and inconsistent.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. As you said, it is high rolly, and
but you know, I gotta
that's
say,
kind of why you play.
Yeah, and even as that leaves my mouth, it's not that inconsistent.
No, it's really not. There are a lot of times, and we have seen games where you just don't have your colors, and
yeah, you end up fighting it a little bit. And Cinnamon Spirit Guide is the way that it is, but
there we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that these decks are gonna prey on the similar decks. Like I think they're gonna beat up similar decks. And I actually think that Ensoul has a little bit more staying power to get into the late game. Between Luris and like Blackstaff and Growing and all that. Mm-hmm. Whereas this deck is like the slightly faster version of your deck.
Yep.
So there is a chance that Ensoul is better positioned against all decks in the format. It just loses this matchup, or it lost this matchup today. You know.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll probably revisit these eventually, and I would. Yeah. Definitely not mind revisiting the deck once I actually make some changes now that there's some budget room to it. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that'll be great. I gotta say though, I am happy to see Rhinos going further. I'm glad it didn't get knocked out in round 1 and is going to the finals because I think if anyone's looking to get into this format or start brewing in this format, you got to start with what decks do I have to respect, right? And this deck is it's a litmus test. You need to have game against it.
Yep. I mean, I would absolutely agree that is definitely one of the format staples. I think it's cool, it's consistent, it's powerful, it's fun. It has a lot of tools to beat different things. It attacks in different ways.
Yeah.
I really, really like that deck.
I do too. I think this deck is awesome. The additional Lele is so silly.
Adds a lot of go big power on that.
Yeah, I love this deck, but yeah, good games.
Great games.
So that's that. Ensoul is out. Rhinos is the future. Like I said, I'm happy to see Rhinos move into our finals and have a shot at making it into our Hall of Fame. Just really, shows off the power of the deck. It's consistent. It's fast. It's very good. So, at this point, we're just 2 matches away from the conclusion of our first tournament bracket, which is really exciting. Looking to get those out to you guys pretty quick. Probably the first couple weeks of December is when we'll have the finals up. I think we're waiting so that our buddy Corey can actually be the one piloting blue-white, because he's kind of been working on that the most. And I don't think he's going to be free to film with us until early December. So probably, second week of December we'll have something. But I'm going to work to get some more content, kind of get some grab bag stuff coming to you. We've got some more deck techs in the works, and I'll try to get out the first episode of the Mono Black Rack Showcase coming up soon. So, stay tuned for that. Keep up with us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram for more visual deck techs. And we'll be wrapping this bracket up soon, so stay posted. All right, thanks, everyone.